From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good morning and happy Friday. It looks very spooky out there for this morning, especially if you're in the lower Columbia Basin. Some very dense freezing fog. It's likely going to be here through 10 a.m. and then that pattern breaking apart as we'll have, I think in general, small shower chances from tonight. They're just going to sort of linger around after that, and that will lead in our higher elevations to first alert weather days for next week as we're tracking perhaps up to 20 inches of snow for some of our highest mountain passes, which we desperately need that snowfall. Okay, you're not looking at much right now in Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of our Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app. And it's not just in the Tri-Cities. It's getting all the way up to Connell, all the way down to Hermiston, a little bit further to the south than that. So in those areas, take it slow, not only because visibility is bad, but also because this is freezing fog that could put down a very thin layer of ice on the roadways. Temperatures out there 30 for the Tri-Cities, 26 for Yakima, 27 for Ellensburg. So again, below freezing. Here's your hourly forecast for this Friday for the Tri-Cities. We're thinking the fog's probably going to lift around 10 a.m. After that, a pretty gloomy day. But in spite of that, temperatures very consistent, still up into the 40s and 50s. And we'll track how that fog is supposed to lift coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, the teen driver involved in a crash that killed a 57-year-old woman in Pasco about a week ago made a court appearance and is pleading not guilty. We have what he asked the judge for regarding his bail. And things are looking up for the Prescott School District as their supplemental levy looks likely to pass, but officials still have more work to do. We'll break down what's next for the district. And the Department of Homeland Security is on the brink of a shutdown after Democratic senators voted to block a bill to fund the agency just last night. We have the latest developments as the clock ticks on a partial government shutdown. It's all on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It's Friday, February 13th. Jade Elliott has the day off. Now, we do want to get into your top stories right away, and we're starting off with continuing coverage. The teenage driver involved in a crash that killed a 57-year-old woman in Pasco last Friday is pleading not guilty to the charge of DUI vehicular homicide. A police affidavit says that after the crash, first responders found several alcoholic drink containers in and around 18-year-old Pedro Ruiz's pickup truck. Ruiz appeared in court yesterday afternoon for his arraignment hearing, where he asked to lower his bail from $1 million to $250,000.
I have absolutely no confidence whatsoever in Mr. Ruiz's ability to follow court orders, so significantly high bail is appropriate.
If Ruiz pays the bail, he would be released under several conditions, including having to wear an alcohol monitoring device, and Ruiz's next court date is set for March 3rd. We'll, of course, keep you updated. Turning to Richland now, officials with Energy Northwest says there is no cause for alarm after the Columbia generating station was shut down early yesterday morning. Officials say the plant is having a problem with its reactor recirculation pumps. The pumps support plant operation by circulating water through the reactor core, and it was shut down before 3 in the morning. And when the problem was discovered, now at this time, Energy Northwest says it doesn't have a timeline of when the plant will be up and running again. An investigation into what is causing the pumps to fail is underway. The Columbia Generating Station is located about 20 miles north of Richland and is the Northwest's only commercial nuclear energy facility. 504 and talking your voice, your vote. In Prescott, a levy that is set to determine if the school district will remain open is looking likely to pass. We spoke with the superintendent of Prescott Schools, and he says the levy passing so far sends a message to everybody in the state of Washington.
I thought maybe Prescott wasn't interested in having a school, that the community, the students, the families that are still very much involved in the school and very much want there to be a school here, because as you mentioned, 87% is a very large number. I think it speaks volumes about the support this community has for this school and how they will support us moving forward.
Moving ahead, OSPI has put in their 3-part plan that the district must complete, and passing the levy was part 1. The second piece would be selling certain properties, and on February 17th, the school will check that item off the list as well. Now, the last piece for the district is to secure legislative funding.
I'm still hearing positive things about potential legislative help, but we will not know the answers to that until at least March 12th at the earliest. But essentially, passing the levy has now allowed us to get 2 out of the 3 things accomplished. So in the last 2 weeks, we've now made 2 of our 3 goals, which is very exciting. And again, the 3rd one seems promising.
The school district has a goal of reaching $1 million, and so far it's raised close to $600,000. The superintendent says he'd like to also thank everybody who voted. Talking local living now, the city of Toppenish is looking ahead to the year with several projects in the works, but city leaders say being financially responsible remains a top priority. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert spoke with the city manager to learn more about some of the city's ongoing priorities.
The city of Toppenish, like many cities, is currently working to close a sizable budget deficit that stood about $2.25 million just 2 years ago. While city leaders say they've made significant progress in reducing that gap, it has required cuts across departments, consolidating positions, and taking a closer look at how services are delivered. City Manager Dan Ford says those decisions haven't been easy, especially when it comes to funding for parks, maintenance, and other programs. But he says the city is focused on making sure essential services remain the top priority.
We went through a strategic planning effort to try to emphasize to staff and to council, again, what are our priorities? What are we really here to do? And the number one item that we came away from that with is, ensuring basic services. Again, that water, that sewer, the garbage, ensuring that those things are done.
Ford says improving public safety and maintaining city infrastructure have been key areas of focus as the city works to stabilize its finances. He says the city has continued investing in facilities and equipment where needed, while also looking for ways to reduce long-term operating costs.
For the police facility, which we're right now in our new remodeled 100-plus-year-old building, just about a block away from here now. And again, when I took over this position, we had no money, and we were in a temporary facility that was costing quite a bit for the city to keep that going.
City leaders say infrastructure needs remain one of the biggest financial challenges, particularly when it comes to utilities and aging systems that require ongoing repairs and upgrades. To help offset those costs, the city has been working to secure outside funding and build partnerships at the state level.
One of the amazing things has been the mayor. She has made some real efforts. We've adjusted things around so that she's got some availability to go and lobby for the city, which has been huge.
City officials tell me that the city of Toppenish is currently still in a deficit. However, they are still very mindful of their residents, especially when it comes to raising revenues and not increasing taxes when they feel like it's unnecessary.
We understand that, we're a very poor community. And so we need to, again, be efficient and be considerate of those type of things. But the last thing we want is for additional taxes or additional financial burdens to be placed on them.
Ford says the city plans to continue focusing on long-term planning and careful budgeting as projects move forward and leaders look for additional funding opportunities. In Toppenish, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And Ford says city leaders will continue reviewing spending and priorities throughout the year, and they'll work to gradually reduce the deficit while maintaining essential services. Making a difference now this morning and celebrating their 1-year anniversary is the Recovery Cafe of Pasco. So the manager says it was an extra special day for him personally, as he previously started off as a member at the Recovery Cafe almost 8 years ago in Spokane's location. Since then, the organization has helped him with his own recovery journey, and the manager adds they have bilingual staff to help anybody in their community, and he also says they're now focusing on expansion.
Our plan is to continue serving the members that we have now to the best of our ability and possibly look for a larger location if we keep expanding our membership, and that would give us the opportunity to expand our days and hours of service to serve more people in this community.
The Recovery Cafe of Pasco is helping serve over 50 people in the community through recovery groups, recovery circles, and the School of Recovery. All right, keep it here because coming up next, the clock is ticking as the Department of Homeland Security is on track to shut down. Many lawmakers already leaving Washington, D.C. without resolving issues concerning federal immigration enforcement. And we have the latest developments coming up in your national news. But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your first alert weather forecast. He's going to be talking about that finicky, dense fog that we're seeing this morning. We'll have all the details in just a few minutes.
The Pasco RV and Boat Super Sale is coming back to the Hapo Center. Save thousands on a huge selection of new and used RVs and boats, including travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and pontoon boats. Every category, every budget, all on sale. Enjoy zero down and no payments for 90 days on approved credit. Shop indoors, February 18th to 22nd at the Hapo Center in Pasco. Big selection, big savings. Don't miss it. Learn more at brettsrv.com.
This President's Day, upgrade every room for less at More Furniture. With sofas starting at $395, beds starting at $195, and mattresses starting at $329. We have styles for every budget. Plus, enjoy free delivery and 0% financing with no money down for 61 months. Shop the President's Day sale today at a More Furniture store near you or shop now at morefurniture.com.
Jardiance plays a role in my story, too. I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well with Jardiance, a once daily pill that helps lower my A1C. It works 24/7 in the body to flush out some sugar.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death, too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardiance is a little pill with a big story to tell. And if you ask me, it's pretty swell.
Action! Prosser's most colorful adventure is at Splat-It. Throw paint, get messy, and have a blast. For kids, adults, parties, and nights out, Splat-It has it all. Book now at splatitnw.com.
That's a day that will be ingrained in my head forever.
It's horrific. People were shocked.
Her love for life was unmatched.
There's a fire, there's footprints in the snow.
The new 2020 tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Live with Kelly and Mark today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Some very dense fog out there for this morning, especially in the lower Columbia Basin. Another look at that. And there's no question about where the densest fog is for this morning, spanning all the way up from Connell all the way down to south of Hermiston, almost getting into the Lexington and Heppner areas. So we'll continue to keep tabs on this very closely. It looks like most of this is probably going to lift around 10 a.m. But again, that would be freezing fog because it is below freezing out there. So you got to take it slow on the roadways, not only because visibility will be bad, but also because the roadways might be a little bit slick. Here's your day planner forecast for this Friday for the Yakima Valley. Probably not dealing with any fog there, but we could see some shower chances coming into the picture as we head into the afternoon, especially into the late afternoon. So for today, 40s and 50s for lower elevations, kind of run-of-the-mill stuff that we've been seeing all throughout this week. Overnight lows slightly warmer, dropping down into the 30s and 40s. We're not too keen on the idea of freezing rain in the valleys at this point. Of course, that's something we'll also keep a very close eye on. Those temperatures remaining pretty normal for this time of the year. No real fluctuations, so we'll keep it in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s in the Yakima Valley. And then those overnight lows will subtly cool down, but still fairly normal for the middle to now later portions of February. Okay, we'll time out those shower chances coming into the picture for tonight. And then beyond that, also talking snowfall for the mountains for next week. All that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your national headlines this morning, a divided Washington is headed for its third government funding lapse of President Donald Trump's second term, this time a shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security over the issue of federal immigration enforcement. DHS is the last federal agency without funding for the remainder of the 2026 fiscal year. Amanda Sansoni is breaking down what's behind the latest federal funding fight and what it means for DHS.
The Department of Homeland Security is on the brink of a shutdown after Democratic senators voted to block a bill to fund the agency Thursday.
The motion is not agreed to.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem blamed Democrats, saying they put national security at risk.
This is a dangerous situation that we're in.
But out of power, Democrats are attempting to use the limited legislative leverage they have in an effort to force changes to immigration and customs enforcement operations. Among the demands, restrictions on roving patrols, more use of judicial warrants, tougher use of force policies, and requirements for agents to wear body cameras and remove their masks.
Unless there are really strong, meaningful reforms to rein in ICE and stop the violence, there will not be Democratic votes.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson says the White House is negotiating with Democratic leadership and says it's unclear to him what they hope to gain.
The ICE funding is already done for the entirety of the Trump administration, so they're not affecting that in any way.
But ICE is among the agencies that would in part be impacted by a DHS shutdown, in addition to other critical divisions, including FEMA, TSA, and the U.S. Coast Guard. However, Noem said last fall that 70,000 law enforcement personnel, including in CBP, ICE, and other divisions, would receive their paychecks. With the Senate out on a week-long recess, the department could be shuttered for at least 11 days, unless an agreement is reached and members return for a vote. In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
And the deadline to fund DHS is tonight, but Congress is off all next week for the President's Day holiday. Many senators left after casting their final votes for the week. GOP leader John Thune vowed to call them back to Washington if Democrats strike a deal with the White House. And we'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more. And keep it here, because coming up next, Josh Colbert is back with that first alert full weather forecast. He's gonna break down this finicky fog. That is all coming up in just a few minutes.
You wouldn't buy a car without a test drive.
So why buy a mattress in a box from an online marketing company without ever knowing if it's right for you?
Don't go through the hassle of returning a mattress when you can get it right the first time.
Mattress Depot USA has top quality mattresses that you can actually touch and feel.
Made by local manufacturers.
You're gonna love our prices.
And same-day delivery. Try getting that online.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
At McCurley Subaru, we want to make driving a car from us easy today, tomorrow, and every day after. That's why every vehicle from McCurley Subaru comes with the McCurley Advantage, including paint protection, windshield protection, and loyalty rewards you can use towards service or your next vehicle purchase. And during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you can get all the McCurley Advantage has to offer and drive a new Subaru for just $209 a month. McCurley Subaru, your way home.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. Now I have Rinvoq, a once-daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days, and some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. Many saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. See a head-to-head study of Rinvoq versus another treatment at Rinvoq.com/see the data. Talk to your dermatologist if you're not doing well on your current pill or injection to see if Rinvoq is right for you.
Calling all ladies. Thunder from Down Under is rolling into town. It's the Most Wanted 2026 tour, Saturday, May 9th at Legends Casino Hotel. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com or the Legends gift shop. The heat is rising, so grab the squad for the ultimate girls' night out back. Thunder from Down Under, May 9th at Legends Casino Hotel in Toppenish. Don't miss the Thunder.
Early warnings, accurate forecasts.
Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It'll be dry, mostly dry during the day on Friday. Could have a few showers as we head into the afternoon, but those shower chances really going to pick up for tonight and then beyond that. Here's why we have multiple impulses of energy. You can see them just sort of lined up in the Pacific and one after the other. This is going to impact our region. So let's go ahead and put this in motion with Futurecast radar. This is by lunchtime. Starting to see some of that precip in the mountains. We're thinking the bulk of the snow is probably going to start after 3 p.m. That's when the snow level is going to drop down. And then you can see the mountain's going to capture the bulk of this, but can't rule out some showers for lower elevations. Those chances are going to be better as we head into Saturday. You see this moisture coming in from the south end and really from the east. This is by lunchtime on Saturday. Looks as if the foothills, the Blues, and the Cascades getting the bulk of the moisture, but a little bit more as we head into Saturday evening. So more on that time frame here in a second. Here is the Valentine's night forecast for the Tri-Cities. Temperature is going to be in the mid to low 40s, dropping down throughout the night, and about 50-50 chances of rainfall. So have the raincoat, have the umbrella, and have the Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app on hand. Here are the precip chances for the next 7 days. And like I said, just sort of low-end shower chances hanging around Saturday through Wednesday in the Tri-Cities. But as we put our attention up into the mountains, First Alert Weather days for next week. Finally, enough snow to prompt that. Now, we're going to have a couple different waves of snowfall. Wave number 1 is going to be 3 p.m. today to 4 a.m. on Monday. A few inches of snow for mountain passes, but it's going to be next week, 4 a.m. on Monday to 4 a.m. next Friday. Around 1.5 feet of snow for Snoqualmie Pass and White Pass. Similar totals for Oregon 204 at Tollgate. And yes, perhaps even getting some snow mixing in for the Kittitas Valley. We'll keep a very close eye on all of these numbers. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dense freezing fog this morning. The small rain chances Saturday through Wednesday. For Yakima, we'll have little nickel and dime shower chances over the next 7 days, maybe some snow mixing in by Wednesday. Then in Ellensburg, it'll be as soon as Monday in which some snow will be possible in the Kittitas Valley, like we were just talking about. And then for Hermiston, dense freezing fog Friday morning, then consistently small rain chances after that. And then finally for Walla Walla, it'll be as soon as Tuesday in which some snow could start mixing in for the foothills, although accumulations don't look very tangible, at least for now. Now you're taking a live spooky look at the dense freezing fog in Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of our very own Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app. Thanks for waking up with Good Morning Northwest, where we're always on your side.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Apple Valley Eats.
At Legends Casino Hotel, we believe the perfect meal begins long before it reaches the table. That's why we partner exclusively with Royal Ranch, a family farm right here in Washington. From Royal Ranch to Legends, every cut of beef we serve begins on land cared for by people who believe in feeding their community responsibly. These cattle are pasture-raised, nourished through a regenerative loop that gives back to the soil and sustains the planet. For us, it's more than food. It's tradition, it's respect for the land, and pride in the people who make it possible. Treat yourself to all-natural pasture-raised, flame-broiled steaks, or melt in your mouth succulent prime rib. Try one of our towering burger creations, the legendary Mount Hood and Mount Adams. Stacked high with all your favorite fixing to satisfy the heartiest appetites and deliver a flavor experience that's bold, memorable, and unmistakably Northwest. From the first sizzle to the last bite, every dish tells a story. Taste the trust. Taste the tradition. Taste Royal Ranch beef, proudly crafted and executed by our culinary trained professionals at Legends Casino Hotel in Toppenish, Washington. Always local, always better, always legendary.
Depression and anxiety can feel like a heavy, suffocating weight pulling you down. But there is hope. Neurostim TMS can help you regain your life. No medications, no drug-related side effects, just a proven solution covered by insurance. Our FDA-approved non-invasive transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy targets the source of your symptoms. NeuroStim works when medications fail and is the Northwest's leader in TMS, with over 250,000 successful treatments delivered. There is hope. Call today for a free consultation.
The Pasco RV and Boat Super Sale is coming back to the Happo Center. Save thousands on a huge selection of new and used RVs and boats, including travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and pontoon boats. Every category, every budget, all on sale. Enjoy 0 down and no payments for 90 days on approved credit. Shop indoors, February 18th to 22nd at the Happo Center in Pasco. Big selection, big savings. Don't miss it. Learn more at brettsrv.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment news, 2 new shows about private investigators are in the works.
Yeah, one PI is a TV icon, while the other was first seen in the movies. David Daniel has details in today's Hollywood Minute.
Tell me why.
You already know how it ends.
Well, then start from the beginning.
Nicolas Cage returns to his Into the Spider-Verse role in the first teaser for Spider-Noir. He plays a down-on-his-luck private eye and occasional superhero in an alternate 1930s New York. The series debuts on MGM Plus May 25th and swings into streaming on Prime Video May 27th in 2 versions, true hue full color and authentic black and white. David Boreanaz is set to play an iconic Gumshoe. The Angel, Bones, and SEAL Team star has been cast in NBC's reboot of The Rockford Files. The late James Garner originally played Private Eye Jim Rockford. We'll see how Boreanaz's wit, charm, and answering machine message stack up. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Okay, watching that, you kind of have the same sentiments that I did. Like, what is MGM Plus? Another streaming service? When are they just gonna make... Okay, our director is saying it's an old studio. Yeah, and then we have the MGM in Vegas, and we don't need any more. No. We need cheaper prices. We need one. I guess there's like bundles out there, but I'm just...
I saw this YouTube video that said, like, is everyone just going to go back to cable? Because pretty much...
Because we're going back to the ads that we would get.
The benefit to streaming was you have unlimited options.
Yeah.
Most everything is on like a couple different streaming services. You don't have ads. But now all that's out the window.
Yeah,
so
we're like going back to where we started.
Let's go back to cable.
How funny.
Pull up the Oxygen channel.
Yeah, watch us.
Discovery.
All right, keep it here because coming up next, great news for local travelers, especially if you have little ones. The Tri-Cities Airport has officially launched a new flight route, one that'll take you the closest to Disneyland. We've got all the details coming up in your next half hour, but first, let's go to your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon's Ring and police tech company Flock Safety have ended their partnership. It comes after backlash from the Super Bowl ad touting a feature to help find lost dogs and possibly track people, sparking concerns about privacy. Ring says it never shared videos with Flock. Attention God of War fans, the original trilogy is being remade for the modern era. No word yet on a release date, so maybe check out the new God of War Sons of Sparta announced and released yesterday. It takes place in the main character's youth while he trains with his brother. Waymo is offering to pay DoorDash drivers to shut its doors. Waymo's driverless cars can't move when their doors are left open. Waymo and DoorDash say they're always looking for new ways and flexible ways for DoorDash deliverers to earn money, adding that future Waymo vehicles will have automated door closures. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Hannah Patel.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check just how permanent my body paint was.
Your student body president, Stephen Long!
Checking Allstate first was a great idea. Not checking if the body paint was permanent, not my finest moment. Yeah, check Allstate first. You can save hundreds. Rock chalk.
I thought people exaggerated about the pain from shingles.
I was wrong. I learned that the hard way.
But you don't have to. Talk to your healthcare provider today.
Resolve. Your pet knows if a mess is really gone. If not, they may remark the spot. Resolve gets rid of pet messes better than the leading competitor, destroying stains, neutralizing odors, and preventing remarking. Love the love, resolve the mess.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, it is Friday the 13th, and we're seeing spooky weather. So the fog is usually kind of patchy, like in and out, but this morning when I was driving in, it was just like from start to finish.
Wire to wire.
Yeah.
Same
crazy.
thing here, to the point where I was kind of struggling with my headlights. Are my headlights even on? And then I did a little bit of finagling, and it turns out they were.
Times that by 10, and that was me struggling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which underscores a point that use the low beams when you're driving in dense fog like this. You're not supposed to use the high beams, and also
you can't. Yeah. I mean, trial and error. I tried it for a second. I was like, oh, can't see anything.
Some of us don't. Yeah. Well, anyway, take it slow because of the visibility, and also because the roadways could be a little slick, which is a tricky little trick that
go slow.
Freezing
Also,
fog.
don't let the people behind you pressure you into going faster. That was me this morning.
Yeah, as my mom used
Just
to
note
say,
to self.
drive your own car. Don't let the person behind you
fight the
dictate
power.
your driving. Okay, let's get into those big weather stories. So obviously we've talked ad nauseum about the fog this morning. It's probably going to lift around 10 a.m. and then the pattern breaking up as we'll get some shower chances mostly into tonight. They're going to linger after that. And then that's going to be a little appetizer for next week, in which we could have a decent amount of snow for our mountain passes. In fact, going with the first alert weather day due to some of that tough pass travel, but we certainly need the snowfall. Okay, I promise you this camera is working. You can see some evidence. There's like an outline of a building right there and a little street light off in the distance, but this is in Pasco, coming courtesy of the Dust Devils and this very dense area of fog. Looks like it's contracted and maybe shifted up just a little bit. So now it's saying from the Tri-Cities all the way up to Connell, maybe some improvements down towards Hermiston, Lexington, and Heppner as well. Okay, and so, like I said, freezing fog because these temperatures are below freezing. 30 for the Tri-Cities, 26 for Hermiston, 30 for Connell. That could make those roadways slick. We're thinking the bulk of the fog should lift around 10 a.m. But in spite of that, going to be a mostly cloudy day in the Yakima Valley. Also seeing those low-end shower chances for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. We'll talk about that. Also, an update on your climate numbers and ski report. All that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. We start this half hour of news in Pasco, where City Council is looking at a proposal that could give downtown businesses a new way to advertise. Council members discussed a possible code change that would allow sandwich board signs in parts of downtown with rules of placement and safety. So city leaders say the goal is to support small businesses while keeping sidewalks clear, and the proposal is expected to return for a future vote.
Some cities that do allow just unlimited signage, basically. So, where does it stop, I guess, is where we're looking at it from a land use perspective. So that's why we've recommended one sign per business so that it's not multiple signs.
Now, if approved, the change would apply only to the downtown overlay area and would set guidelines that businesses must follow when placing the signs. And staying in Pasco, but looking to the skies as there's now a new nonstop flight at the Tri-Cities Airport. Allegiant Airlines has officially launched direct service from Pasco to Orange County, California as of yesterday. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen has more on this new milestone flight.
It was a celebratory send-off Thursday afternoon at the Tri-Cities Airport. The inaugural Allegiant Air flight to John Wayne Airport rolled down the runway under water cannon salute, officially launching its new nonstop service to Southern California. Airport Director Buck Taft says this is a destination travelers have been requesting.
It's one that we've worked on for quite a while, and it's that closest to Disney that we know we have the demand for in our community. So we were very excited to get this.
The new connection eliminates layovers and long drives to larger airports, something passengers like Janelle and Cambria Marsh not only say makes a big difference, but also brings them closer to family.
My family is all in California, and I'm the only one that moved away, and so this brings us together, and we're about to meet them, and it's a non-stop flight, and so it's going to be great.
Janelle says the nonstop option makes quick getaways and business trips far more manageable.
It's so nice because you don't have to worry about if it's going to be late or miss the flight or where's my bags. It's just so convenient.
The flight took off from Pasco at 3:30 p.m. Airport leaders say strong community support will help determine future expansion opportunities. Airport leaders say this Orange County route will help expand services here in Pasco and hope to bring in more direct flights sometime down the road. Reporting in Pasco, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
And tickets for the nonstop flight to Orange County are now available through Allegiant, and this flight will operate several times a week. 5:35 and turning to developing news out of Franklin County, where officials are preparing to host a major event aimed at boosting economic growth and strengthening rural communities. The summit is scheduled for March 26th, although a specific time and location have not yet been announced. In a letter sent to local leaders, commissioners say representatives from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Small Business Administration, Department of Transportation, and Housing and Urban Development are all expected to attend. County Administrator Brian Danzel says now even more agencies are interested, all with the goal of bettering the county.
Originally it was 500, then it jumped to, we think we might get 1,000. Now it's about 1,500. More agencies, more figureheads, more people that can actually maybe put folks in touch with, either a program that can help with a city or a county or an entity.
And the summit is more than just a presentation. It'll be a platform for high-level engagement with confirmed attendance from several high-ranking officials in the Trump administration. And keep it here, because coming up next, we're talking sports as the city of Seattle was taken over by the Seahawks Super Bowl Parade earlier this week, and our very own Jake Gable and Caleb Stipkovitz were there and have more coverage from the festivities. We'll take you there right after the break.
That's a day that will be ingrained in my head forever.
It's horrific. People were shocked.
Her love for life was unmatched.
There's a fire, there's footprints in the snow.
The new 2020 tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
The little pill with a big story to tell.
Jardiance plays a role in my story, too. I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well with Jardiance, a once daily pill that helps lower my A1C. It works 24/7 in the body to flush out some sugar.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death, too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardiance is a little pill with a big story to tell. And if you ask me, it's pretty swell. Action!
Feeling frugal and can't fathom forking over a fortune for 40 weeks? Forget the flim flam and shop the fantastic 4-day sale at Denver Mattress.
That's 4 phenomenal days to fund your financial reserves with $100 off every $1,000 you spend. Flip out over the first-rate Colorado Twin for only $149.99. Find fierce savings up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic mattress sets. Plus, get a $300 gift and finance for 60 months, no interest, no down payment, and free shipping.
But hurry, the fantastic 4-day sale at Denver Mattress ends in a flurry.
Bathfitter knows what you're looking for. The perfect style for your bath remodel with the look of tile you want. New textures, shapes, and styles. Works with your budget? Low maintenance. With no messy grout to clean. Quality and beauty that lasts, backed by a lifetime warranty. Sounds like Bathfitter's styles are your match. And with new designs, now there's even more to love. Time to set a date. It just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
The Pasco RV and Boat Super Sale is coming back to the Hapo Center. Save thousands on a huge selection of new and used RVs and boats, including travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and pontoon boats. Every category, every budget, all on sale. Enjoy zero down and no payments for 90 days on approved credit. Shop indoors February 18th to 22nd at the Hapo Center in Pasco. Big selection, big savings. Don't miss it. Learn more at brettsrv.com.
If you love chocolate, dark chocolate, well, things may have just gotten even better. This morning on GMA, see the very real health benefits for your heart that dark chocolate holds. Delicious and heart healthy? The doctor's in. This morning on Good Morning America.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is that time of the week. Once again, time to dive into those climate numbers. We start off with the rainfall numbers we've been tracking since October 1st. From this side of the graphic, this is the rainfall we've actually tracked since that time frame. This is what you would typically expect during said time frame. You do a little bit of math, you can figure out rainfall deficits and surpluses. So we have deficits. Thankfully, the deficits aren't as big as they were last week, hovering around 10% for the Blue Foothills. We're almost breaking even in the Yakima Valley, and some slightly better surpluses now for the basin, anywhere between 10 to 20%. But unfortunately, the Kittitas Valley has seen this surplus go down. It was closer to 10% last week. Now it's a little bit closer to 5%. So kind of varying from microclimate to microclimate. But if you look at the water still in the reservoirs in the Yakima Basin, that number alone looking pretty encouraging. We have 32% more water than normal, but this number is a little bit misleading because as we head into the spring and summer months, we're banking on that snowpack melt to replenish the reservoir levels. What happens if you don't have that snowpack? Well, that's the problem. We have 60% less snow than normal for this time of the year in the Yakima Basin, and the situation is much more dire over in the Blues. This is what McKay Dam looks like already 40% below where it should be for this time of the year. That's surpassing the severe drought benchmark by 15 percentage points already. And then you factor in the snowpack, which is looking even worse than it does in the Yakima Basin. Almost, we'll say between 65 to 70% less snow than normal. So these numbers not very encouraging at all. But thankfully there is some snowfall on the way, so that should help out with things a little bit. Here is your ski report brought to you by Schweitzer. The base step only at 15 inches for Schweitzer. For Bluewood, only at 21 inches. We'll take you over to White Pass, only at 23 inches. But the good news is, like I said, some snowfall on the way, so there will be some fresh powder days at all of these resorts over the next couple days.
Great news for skiers and snowboarders. All right, talking more sports now. So earlier this week, the city of Seattle was taken over by the Seahawks Super Bowl parade.
Apple Valley News Now's Jake Gable and Caleb Stipkovitz were at the front of the pack and recapped the best of the celebration.
The Seahawks are Super Bowl champions, and Seattle hosted a 1 million person parade to celebrate. I'm standing where the parade once was. The buses just went by, players talking to us, fans coming up, running into barricades, jumping over them. It created a chaotic time for everyone involved.
Sam Darnold, absolute MVP, quality of the year. He was left alone. He was forgotten, just like he was in the pocket throwing dimes all night.
We've been here since like 5 a.m. in the morning. We drove all the way up from like Tigard, Oregon. So, you know, we're here, we're ready to get hyped. We're the best in the world.
You can argue that the members of the Seahawks were having even more fun than the fans.
We just won a Super Bowl championship. They said we was going to go fourth in the NFC West. Not one. What do you want the fans to hear from you? We love y'all. Come on, man. Levi Stadium was a home game because of the 12s. Because of the 12s. Let's go.
Even Washington State Senator Maria Cantwell was there to join in on the celebration.
So proud of this team, so proud they made it to the Super Bowl, and today is a day to celebrate.
And Yakima native Cooper Kupp gave a shout out to his hometown.
Thank you guys for embracing the kids. Couple kids from Eastern Washington, Yakima, Tri-City.
Much to the Seattle Police Department's surprise, they announced that no arrests were made during the parade. It was a wild but safe time that everyone in attendance will remember for the rest of their lives. In Seattle, Jake Gable, Apple Valley News Now.
Okay, I loved everything about Mike Morris's spiel. He's just the energy. I love when people who are celebrities or, of status, they're not nonchalant. They're chalant.
Yeah.
They're bringing that energy. It's exciting to see.
The parades are pretty notorious. Any championship parade is pretty notorious for typically the members of the team taking part in the parade have a little bit to drink beforehand. I don't know if that's what was going on.
The vibes were vibing.
Either way.
Yeah, loved it. And the Seahawks Super Bowl season resulted in several franchise records being broken.
And this includes most wins in a season and most points scored in a season.
Woohoo, love to see it. All right, keep it here because coming up next, we've got your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door. And Mr. Josh here will be back with your full First Alert weather forecast. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all.
Get 1.9% financing on all 2026 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $6,350 total value on this Silverado. Plus $1,000 trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
When I made my Botox Cosmetic appointment,
I was nervous that I might look overdone.
I wanted results that looked like me. What was important to me was that I'd still look like me, just with fewer lines.
I'm happy with my results.
So happy that my results are natural looking. Booking a consultation, it's a way to take time for you.
Botox Cosmetic effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, or swelling. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
I'm the one and only Delphina.
I'm the one and only Olivia.
And I'm the one and only Claire. And I got treated with the one and only Botox Cosmetic.
Find a licensed Botox Cosmetic specialist at BotoxCosmetic.com.
In a world where people may miss a warning signal from their body, one woman.
Hello?
Okay, two women are spreading the word.
People with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. Like my mom and you, Chica. Our kidneys could be sending out an SOS about increased risk like heart attack or stroke. Don't miss the signal. Ask your doctor about a simple urine test called UACR and join our mission.
I just got my permit! The Pasco RV and Boat Super Sale is coming back to the Happo Center. Save thousands on a huge selection of new and used RVs and boats, including travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes, and pontoon boats. Every category, every budget, all on sale. Enjoy 0 down and no payments for 90 days on approved credit. Shop indoors, February 18th to 22nd at the Happo Center in Pasco. Big selection, big savings. Don't miss it. Learn more at brettsrv.com.
Winter paddle boarding. Fly the Northwest Tuesday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We will see some shower chances arriving into the late afternoon, but specifically for tonight, and then just kind of hanging around after that. Let's show you why. We have all these storm systems. You can see them lined up one after the other, these little bands of moisture, and these have their sights set on the Pacific Northwest, and so they will impact us as we head into the weekend and then eventually into next week. So let's put all this into motion with Futurecast radar. Around lunchtime is when things are going to start to pick up in the mountains. We're thinking after 3 p.m. is when the bulk of the snow should start. By 5 p.m. still looks like most of this is up in the mountains, but then into this evening, well, getting a little bit drier around midnight. But as we head into Saturday morning, here comes that next surge of moisture coming in from the south. And it looks like the most preferable regions for moisture tomorrow are going to be in the foothills and the mountains, both the Blues and the Cascades. Then into the evening, this is when shower chances are going to pick up even for lower elevations, even getting into the basin. So that could impact some dinner plans for tomorrow night. Then we have a lot more active weather after that. But speaking of those dinner plans, here's what it's going to look like in the Yakima Valley. Definitely a lot drier as opposed to what we're expecting in the Tri-Cities, in Hermiston, but can't rule out a few showers in the Yakima Valley, and those temperatures are going to hover right around 40 degrees for that primary dinner time frame. These low-end chances for precip going to continue over the next 7 days, but look at what happens by the middle and later parts of next week. Maybe some snow mixing in. We'll have a lot more to say about that for next week. But for now, a lot more to say about the snow we could get up in the mountains, going with first alert weather days for next week because of wave number 2 of snowfall. Now, wave number 1 is going to be 3 p.m. this afternoon to 4 a.m. on Monday. See around 2 to 4 inches of snow for primary mountain passes. We'll see some moderate impacts, but those impacts going to be much higher with wave number 2, 4 a.m. on Monday to 4 a.m. next Friday, around 1.5 feet of snow for primary Cascade passes, and some similar totals for Oregon 204 at Tollgate, and maybe even getting some very modest accumulations in the Kittitas Valley. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dense freezing fog this morning, then small rain chances Saturday through Wednesday. Then for Yakima, we'll have little nickel and dime shower chances over the next 7 days. Maybe some snow mixing in by Wednesday and beyond. Then in Ellensburg, it'll be as soon as Monday, in which some snow will be possible in the Kittitas Valley. Then for Hermiston, dense freezing fog Friday morning, then consistently small rain chances after that. And then finally for Walla Walla, it'll be as soon as Tuesday, in which some snow could start mixing in for the foothills, although accumulations don't look very tangible, at least for now.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is 5:51. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour, and we start with the top 5 local stories that you need to know this morning. First up, 18-year-old Pedro Ruiz, the teen driver involved in a crash that killed a 57-year-old woman in Pasco about a week ago, is pleading not guilty to DUI vehicular homicide. According to a police affidavit, first responders found several alcoholic drink containers in and around his pickup truck. Ruiz appeared in court yesterday for his arraignment hearing, and he asked to lower his bail from $1 million to $250,000. The judge declined to lower his bail, and his next court date is set for March 3rd. And in Prescott, a levy that determines if the school district will stay open is looking likely to pass. This means part 1 of a 3-part plan is now complete. Part 2 includes selling certain properties, and that's set to be done on February 17th. Part 3 is to secure legislative funding, and so far the district has raised close to $600,000 of its $1 million goal. And Franklin County is preparing to host a major event aimed at boosting economic growth and strengthening rural communities. Representatives from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Small Business Administration, Department of Transportation, and Housing and Urban Development all are expected to attend. And the summit is scheduled for March 26th, but a specific time and location have not yet been announced. The county administrator says even more agencies are now interested, all with the goal of bettering the county. And local travelers now have a new nonstop flight option to Southern California. Allegiant Airlines launched direct service from the Tri-Cities Airport to Orange County's John Wayne Airport just yesterday. And according to the airport director, with the location being the closest to Disneyland, the demand in the community was high. The flight will operate several times a week, and tickets are now available through Allegiant. And a school resource officer stepped in when it mattered most at Highlands Middle School in Kennewick. Last Friday, Officer Tim Harris saved a choking student by performing the Heimlich maneuver and a finger sweep. He successfully dislodged a piece of candy, and because of his quick thinking and actions, officials say a frightening situation ended safely. 5:53 in your national headlines this morning. The well-known polling firm Gallup has announced the end of its presidential approval and favorability tracking poll. Gallup says it will no longer publish assessments of individual political figures. The move ends the longest-running continuous effort to track U.S. opinion of the nation's president. It dated back to the tenure of Franklin D. Roosevelt in the late 1930s, and Gallup attributes the change to a shift towards research on, quote, issues and conditions that shape people's lives. The company says it will continue to poll public opinion about prominent issues and the nation's mood. In your business news, the luck of the Irish is hitting the Golden Arches next week. St. Patrick's Day season means the return of the Shamrock Shake to McDonald's. The minty green fan favorite is set to hit McDonald's restaurants on Tuesday, and it's been a staple this time of year since 1970. Also returning is the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry, which debuted in 2020. And Mickey D's hasn't said how long it'll serve the desserts, but St. Patty's Day is March 17th, so they're unlikely to hang around much long after that. In your health headlines, hundreds of Cheer Kid baby bath seats from Baby Baby are being recalled for safety-related concerns. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the seats are in violation of the mandatory standard and can tip over, posing a potential drowning hazard. No related injuries have been reported so far. The baby bath seats were sold nationally on Amazon last September, and customers are advised to return the seats for a full refund. More information is available at cpsc.gov. Talking sports now, President Donald Trump issued pardons yesterday to 5 former NFL players. That includes Joe Klecko, once a defensive tackle for the New York Jets, was convicted on insurance fraud in 1993 and sentenced to 3 months in prison. Also, Nate Newton, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, was sentenced to 30 months in prison in 2002 on federal drug trafficking charges. Former Baltimore Ravens and Cleveland Browns player Jamal Lewis was sentenced to 4 months in prison on drug-related charges in 2004. Travis Henry, who played for the Denver Broncos, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to traffic cocaine. And the late Billy Cannon, who played for 3 teams, spent nearly 3 years in prison for his role in a counterfeiting scheme in 1983. Trump's latest pardons, granted days after the Super Bowl, underscore an emboldened president who has escalated his use of clemency. He's far outpacing his first term and even his most recent predecessors. Trending now this morning, a Colorado woman held a kangaroo court in her home last month. Actually, it was a wallaby.
Caller reported the loose marsupial to Douglas County Police. Deputies hopped to it immediately.
And after arriving on the scene, they helped corral Charlie the wallaby back home. And then Charlie's owner invited them in to give him some well-earned treats.
Charlie is actually fairly well known around the Denver area. He even has his own Instagram account.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh, just a little public figure. Got a little lost, just perusing around.
Yeah.
Hopping around,
Charlie's such a cute name for a wallaby, too.
Charlie the wallaby, love it. I gotta find his Instagram account and follow it.
Yeah.
All right, keep it here because coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, the Columbia Basin Veterans Center is launching a new program aimed at helping veterans succeed in business. And we've got a look at that new program coming up in that 6 o'clock hour. And Josh, what are you tracking besides dense fog? Or is that just kind of taking up everything?
Hey, that's the thing for this morning, but our pattern breaking apart as we head into tonight. Shower chances that could impact your Valentine's night plans, and also some big time snow totals we're expecting next week up in the mountains. We'll talk about all that coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.